Airbrush compressors cost a bit of money and we don't want them to die prematurely. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 ways to lengthen the lifespan of your compressor. Tip number 1 is all about heat. So a compressor, the moving parts are made up of an electric motor which spins a shaft, and then that shaft drives a piston up and down which compresses the air, and all of that motion generates heat in the compressor. Unfortunately, heat is the enemy of electronics and mechanics. If there's too much heat for too long, then electrical chips can degrade and break. Electrical insulation can melt and lead to electrical shorts. The metal can expand and cause clearance issues. And the seals in the compressor can degrade as well. Double unfortunately, many motors and pumps don't have the heat dissipation capabilities to be run continuously. Many can only be run intermittently, and this is called the motor's duty cycle. I couldn't find any duty cycle specifications for my Fangda airbrush compressor, but it's better to be safer than sorrier. That's not a saying. The easiest way to solve the heat issue is with a tank. With this Fangda airbrush compressor that I have with the tank on it, it also has a pressure switch. So what happens is the pump compresses the air in the tank until it gets to a certain pressure level. And then that pressure switch actually disables the pump, and it will stay off until the pressure drops down to a set level, and then the pump will turn back on again. Now, the whole time that the pump is off, it can cool down so the heat doesn't build up too much in the pump. If your compressor doesn't have a tank, then you just have to try and make sure that your compressor is not running all the time. If you have any downtime while switching paints or switching models or anything like that, then make sure that your compressor is not actively pumping so it can have a chance to cool down as well. Also, if you have a fan or anything like that, bringing cool fresh air over the compressor, that will help it cool down. And if you shove your compressor in a sealed box, then it will heat up even more, so don't do that. Tip 2 is more of a half tip, so sorry for the clickbait, but hopefully you can deal with it. Now, what it is to empty the moisture trap. So the moisture trap is this glass vial on the side of the tank, and its job is to capture any moisture that's in the air that's going up to your airbrush, so that moisture doesn't splurt out of the airbrush and cause issues for you. To empty the moisture trap, all you have to do is press in the sort of metal button plunger thing on the bottom of the moisture trap. And if your tank is pressurized, then the water and air will blast out and empty the trap. Before we get to the final tip, if you're finding this video useful, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want more content about miniature painting and miniature painting tools. So the final tip is to empty the moisture drain in your compressor's air tank. When air is compressed, it can no longer hold the same amount of moisture as uncompressed air. So that moisture comes out of the air as condensation droplets. Sadly for us, the compressed air is inside the tank, and the tank is made from steel. You smart cookies have probably figured it out by now, but the condensation that's forming is going to be inside the tank on the steel. And so that condensation in the steel will react and create rust and bad things like that. So we need to empty out that condensation so rust doesn't form inside the tank. It's a simple enough fix. All you have to do is find this plug on the bottom of the compressor tank and unscrew it. Mine was quite stiff when I did this, so I had to go find some pliers to actually open it up before I could use my fingers. Once it's open, the condensation will drain out and fresh air will help dry out the inside of your tank. I did this with the tank unpressurized because I thought that would be a bit safer, and I recommend that you do it unpressurized as well. If you want to know what happened to my nose, well, the story is that a little fluffy demon and I were wrestling around and playing, and he got a bit excited and jumped into me. So it's just a little accident with Huey. Let me know in the comments below if I've missed anything, and I hope you found this video useful. I'm Dave. Thanks for watching.